Is South Africa afraid of the United States of America? Is South Africa chickening out from things they said very boldly prior to this because America is applying pressure? You need to find out about this. This is very important. Then we're going to go to Iceland, where the Minister of Children did something you don't want to know with a child. Okay, a teenager. They had a baby. You're going to find out about this because this is very, very important. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You are appreciated. I just had to check to make sure it's still recording. You know, these things. You could be talking, talk, then at the end you look, it's not been recording. Now, just imagine being talking for 30 minutes, then you check this thing, not recording. Crazy stuff. You get very upset, and sometimes you go like, you know what? Screw it, I'm done. Bye-bye. And you don't want that, right? You want to see this. Okay, great. So, is South Africa chickening out? Okay, we are in South Africa. I see you from all over the place. Dumelang, Sanbonani, South Africans, Shikamo, Tanzanians, Kenyans, VP, Oga. How are you, Oga? Nigeria, Mepacho, good afternoon, Ghana, Jebaleko, Basebo, Nabanyabo, Uganda, Amakuru, Nimeza, Rwanda, Bite, Burundi. Okay, we're going to stop there. I'm not going to continue. I can speak all those languages. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I see you. A true African need to speak at least 5 African languages. Start with Swahili. Swahili is the most spoken language in Africa. See all these countries in East Africa? Congo, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda. All of those countries speak Swahili. So you should learn Swahili. Okay, let's go. Now, in South Africa, something really, really interesting is happening. We all know what's happened a couple of days ago. We spoke about this. There is a road named Senton Drive that's supposed to be renamed because South Africa is in the process of renaming many roads and routes and streets that's, significant. That's all the names of Europeans and stuff like that to, give to people that fought very hard against apartheid, to people that were very relevant to the African community. So they've changed many, many roads. Now, this specific road named Senton Drive was to be changed as well. There was a discussion about it. However, the name they changed to, because normally, let's say the road's name is Smith, they will change it to Kumaza. The name is George. They will change it to Ntakezo. Something like that. Something very African. Now, for identity purpose. Now, this road named Senton Drive was supposed to be changed to Leila Khaled. It's got a very strong pushback for a potential ambassador to the United States of America in South Africa. Let me remind you here, Donald Trump is in power, but he has not elected all ambassadors for every country in the world. The selection is still being done. However, the person selected to potentially be the ambassador of the United States of America in South Africa, his name is Joel Pollack. And Joel Pollack says he will not accept South Africa changing Senton Drive to Leila Khaled. He says he will not accept the name change. Why would he not accept the name change? Because the U.S. consulate in Johannesburg is located on 1 Senton Drive. Therefore, all documents of the U.S. consulate say 1 Senton Drive. Now, by changing it to Leila Khaled, the United States of America consulate to South Africa, Johannesburg, will be addressed 1 Leila Khaled. Now, who is Leila Khaled? Leila Khaled is a very controversial person, okay? Clearly, America doesn't like her. Specifically, the country you don't name don't like her. Why? She's a controversial former Palestinian militant and member of the Popular Front of Liberation of Palestine. She gained prominence after a role in hijacking an aeroplane in 1969. Fellas, a woman hijacking an aeroplane. Crazy stuff. They didn't unalive people during the hijacking. So they hijacked flights going from New York to Tel Aviv, taking it to Syria. They got people off the plane, then they bombed the plane. She was arrested, but later on was imprisoned, then released in a prison exchange for civilians hostage kidnapped by her group. So she's not very much liked by, they don't like her. At all. They don't like her. She's a terrorist. She's a criminal. However, for the Palestinians, she's a hero. And many other Arab countries, they see her as a hero, as a female brave enough to do that. Now, this has been very difficult because South Africa is a free country, independent country. Can they choose whatever name or whichever direction they want to take the country without being told how to do? Of course they should. Does this justify the fact that they will selectively choose a street where the U.S. consulate is and rename it with the name of a woman who's perceived as a terrorist by the country you don't name? Now, you must ask yourself a question. Why would the US get upset with the name of a person who has something to do not directly with them, but with the country you don't name? It's very interesting. Well, that will take us to understand who Joel Pollak is. Joel Pollak was born in South Africa of a family coming from the country you don't name. Okay, now he left South Africa in 1977, moving to the United States of America. Joseph Pollak, even though he moved to the United States of America, worked as a script writer for Tony Leon. Tony Leon is a South African politician who's perceived by many people as not liking black people. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Many black people of South Africa feel like Tony Leon has that sentiment, and I'm trying to avoid that name. He doesn't like black people. And Joel Pollak, who's potentially the ambassador of America to South Africa, used to write script for this politician. I know many people think that politicians necessarily write their own scripts. No, they don't. Some of them are not actually very smart. Okay, they get somebody to write for them. Or maybe not. They just don't have time to do it. Now, Joel Pollak, who is he? Joel Pollak is also one of the main writers in Breitbart magazine. Breitbart magazine, or Breitbart News, is a controversial news in the United States of America that is right-wing oriented. Many people perceive it that way. They feel that they are very controversial. They feel like they're anti-black. Joel Pollak, number one, born in South Africa, moved to the United States of America. Number two, wrote script for Tony Leon, a politician of South Africa that perceived as anti-black. Number three, was a writer for Breitbart News in the United States of America, a news that is perceived anti-black. Do you understand now the sentiment? Okay, Julius Malema a couple of weeks ago said that the reason why America is coming at South Africa is not because of anything South Africa has done to the white people in South Africa. It's actually because South Africa took the country you don't name to court. Well, why don't you name them? I'm sure you're asking why you don't name the country. Because if you name the country on YouTube, your video usually shadow ban. I'm sorry, I don't know why. But so I have to find a way. We all have to find a way. When you talk about Italy, it's fine. Talk about Germany, it's fine. When you talk about the country you don't name, then your video goes 2,000 views. I mean, you have 1 million followers. How do you explain that? Every time? No. Okay, so the country you don't name. So the issue we have here is this one. I mean, a lot of people were like, South Africa has to react. South Africa has to impose itself. Now, should South Africa react? Now, the presidential spokesperson, Vincent Mangwenya, has reacted. He said that the president is acutely aware of the strained relationship with the United States of America and has urged political parties to refrain from exacerbating the issue. Because political parties are very angry that they're feeling that they're being told how to run South Africa. We continue. This is also true for parties looking to organize rallies and gatherings to welcome back expelled U.S. Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool. Rasool was declared persona non grata last week after accusing U.S. Donald Trump of leading a global supremacist movement in a webinar. So Rasool was talking on a webinar and he said U.S. president is leading a global supremacist movement.
I think what Donald Trump is launching is an assault on incumbency, those who are in power, by mobilizing a supremacism against the incumbency at home, and I think I've illustrated abroad as well.
And that's the reason why they're trying to impose other people how to live. Now, political parties in South Africa are looking to have a big day when Rasool is sent back to South Africa, in solidarity and support. But the presidency doesn't like that. They continue saying, we would like to urge all political formations that are planning various homecoming rallies for Ambassador Rasool to assist us and refrain from engaging in action that may seem inflammatory and may worsen the already volatile relationship with the United States of America. Now, is South Africa chickening out at the war against the US? Are they afraid? Are they scared? Are they not standing up to themselves like they stood up against the white supremacists of the apartheid? He said that while the government is mandated to change the name of the road to reflect and set apart the new dispensation from old one, the Sandton Drive issue carries very sensitive diplomatic ties. This is what the president said. So even though we're thinking about changing names, the Sandton Drive issue carries a very sentimental diplomatic ties. This is because the United States consulate is located in number 1 Sandton Drive. Now, why is the United States worried about this lady who's a Palestinian? So do America hate Palestinians? I'm just asking. Or it's something different. What do you understand from this? Is it America or is it a personal issue with the Palestinians? Or maybe it's a way to show South Africa that we command the world. If you try to play, we're going to show you. My question to you is this. Is South Africa chickening out in spite of all the big talks about how strong South Africans be? I mean, not big talk. We already know. South Africa has been very strong against apartheid. They went to the street Some of them were unalived in the name of freedom. They were not scared. Even though many years they were subjected to that, it came to an end. I know there was a participation of many people outside the country. Many nations stood in solidarity. But South Africans on the ground fought very hard for their freedom. Now, are they chickening out this time around? Are they just afraid of the United States of America because it holds too much power in many areas? It could crumble people's economy. Or is Cyril Ramaphosa being matured enough to understand that every fight is not won through force? Sometimes you gotta play soft because maybe you're not in a very strong position, or maybe it's just maturity beyond the person that's perceived as your enemy right now. Let me know how you feel about that. So South Africa is turning around the idea of changing the name from Santon Drive to Leila Khaled because of pressure. Is it pressure or is it maturity? Let me know how you feel about that. And now we're going to Iceland. This is Iceland. An Iceland child minister has been accused of having what you can think about 30 years ago with a teenager, 16-year-old. This is a lady. Apparently, she did something with a 16-year-old back then, and she fell pregnant. The boy was 15, excuse me. Yeah. Arturud Loa Torsdorskir. I can't say a name, I'm sorry. Yeah, she came on an interview and she said she had first started a relationship with a boy that was 15 years old and she was 22 at the time. She was a counselor at a religious church. You see, don't talk about church, my brother. I pray, I go to church. Nah, I'm sorry. Look, as much as I respect people that choose whatever religion it is, I do not qualify or attempt to, set somebody's character based on the religion they have. Religion has absolutely nothing to do with who you are. Matter of fact, some of the best people I have met in my life were filled with tattoos all over the body. They don't even believe in God. But some of the best people ever. Never criticize, never pin you down, never disloyal, always faithful, present, helping, loving, supporting, paying, crazy. While people that are very religious tend to be very judgmental and sometimes do some of the craziest thing ever. So she was 22 years old at the time, and she took on a young 15-year-old boy with whom she was, mentoring, and he had a child. This is a minister of children, okay? And this happened 36 years ago. It's been 36 years ago and a lot of things have changed. In that time, I would definitely have dealt with the issue differently. That's what she says today. Obviously, when you get caught, you always say, no, I could have dealt with it differently. Now, the issue is what? It's not necessarily the fact that they did that. The issue is that boy tried so hard after time to try get in contact with his child. Because this woman got married and abandoned this boy. He tried to get in touch with his child. She refused to allow him. But in the meantime, he was paying child support every single month for 36 years. Now, that's evil. Okay, if you're going to refuse me to see the child because you feel like you made a mistake, or maybe you want to change life, or you don't want to disrupt the child's life, then do not allow me to pay child support. That is robbery. That is crazy. The report said that the document by Admundsson is the young 16-year-old. The document of Admundsson submitted to the Iceland Justice Ministry requesting access to his son, but that the lady denied, while also requesting and receiving child support payment from him for the following 18 years. Crazy stuff. South Africa, is it backing out? Are they chickening out? Let me know how you feel about that. Or are they being mature? Is Cyril Ramaphosa the most mature South African president? Or maybe not. I know you want South Africa to go blow by blow with the US. But what are the dangers? Should a woman take a child from a 16-year-old boy, then run away with it, and then refuse to let him see the boy, but still take money from him for 18 years? Crazy stuff. I mean, I understand. I mean, a lot of people get abused like that from old people. I'm one of them. Hey, I remember my sister's friend did to me some crazy stuff. I was under 10 years old. But it was nice. God bless.